All right. And I think we're recording. So happy first Sunday of the year 2016. It's exciting. The theme for the year is Sweet 16, which we're excited about. And we have a lot of really awesome opportunities coming up. I want to do a little recognition first. We, of course, have our fabulous DIQ team, Monica Chian out in California, finished their first month of director and qualification. So way to go, Monica and your Miracle Makers team. And brand new to our unit, consultant Linda Berry in her first month, got what's called a double gold medal. That's 10 new team members in 1 month. And she actually finished her very first month of CAR qualification in her first month in our unit as a consultant. She's been a consultant previously, but that still deserves a round of applause, Linda, and your entire, I believe you're called the Berry's Beauties team, and I know that directorship is just around the corner for you as well. So awesome and exciting things happening, and one of them is, I'm going to see if I can pull this up and show you. I just posted it on our Facebook wall. So if you're on your computer, you can check our Facebook wall. I'm going to see if I can do it, and then I can turn the camera and show you what's on my screen. But I'm pretty excited about it. I always love doing a coloring challenge. I feel like if a 5-year-old can color, so can we. And so let's see. Ooh, there's Tallulah. Let's see how I share screen. There we go. And here it is. So this is what you're looking for. Right there on our Facebook page. It is our Sweet 16 challenge for the month of January. And you get to color in the cupcakes. And I love cupcakes. And so they each have a different IPA, income producing activity. And so basically, as you are having fun coloring cupcakes, and you'll get a larger version of this. I know it's not easy to see right here. I probably have a larger version on my computer. Let's check. And what we'll do is, as you're having fun, as you are coloring in cupcakes, you're also making money. So, you know, it doesn't get any better than that. I'm pull up a larger version so you can see what's on it. But it's really similar to the one that we just did, really similar to your Christmas tree challenge, your turkey challenge. And I just always, I don't know, y'all know that adult coloring is making a comeback, which is really interesting. And so, see if I can share the bigger version. But adult coloring is making a comeback. So if I can share the big version, I will. Now I'm frozen, you're frozen, we're all frozen. Might have attempted to do too much on, okay, and now we're all unfrozen. That was interesting. Okay. That's not, maybe it didn't pull up. Anyway, go check it out. It's on Facebook. There's a couple of really cute, oh, here we go. A couple of really cool things are on it that I want to point out to you. One of them is, let's see if I can make this bigger. There we go. Okay. So basically, you get these really cute stackable bracelets in different colors, and they're really cool looking, really high-end looking. And if you do 5 cupcakes, you get a bracelet. 10 cupcakes, you get 2. Of course, the Sweet 16, you get 3 bracelets for all kinds of different things. But the ones I want to point out are right over here. You've got your new Pearls of Sharing earrings. So even if you've earned your older Pearls of Sharing, these are brand new. They're gold and like drop pearls. They are just so gorgeous. I've just ordered them, so you'll be able to see them next week when we do our call next Sunday evening. So for doing 3 interviews or shares with your by yourself or with me, I'll do them with you in person or over the phone, as long as you let me know within 24 hours who you talked to, and I can follow up and kind of just, you know, check on how you did and if they have any questions. So you can get your earrings for doing 3, do 3 more, so 6 total, and you'll get your bracelet, which matches, and then 3 more, or 9 total, and you get your necklace to go with it, and those are just the cutest. So I wanted to point those out. Also, Shine 3 is going to start soon. So if you either missed the conference calls that we do with our national sales director, the Shine 2 calls, we're still going through those right now, but Shine 3 is eligible, and you go to jcvglobal.com, you register for $20, you get 3 months of conference calls. Those are weekly on Wednesdays. There's also a special conference call for anybody who is really interested in moving up the career path, earning a free car, that kind of a thing. You have to email to get the information about that special call. But so you can enroll in those calls. And then this right here, registering for the Disney retreat in Orlando in February. I don't know about you, but I love me some Disney. And this is a retreat with the Verineos area. That's our entire national area with our national sales director, Jamie Cruz Verineos. And it's for Red Jackets. Red Jackets are people who have 3 team members. So really it's your second promotion. Your first promotion is senior consultant with 1 team member. And so Reds get to go with me, spend a couple of nights in Orlando. We will definitely hit up some Disney property while we are there and have a good time. And even if you're not sure that you think that you can make it, or if it's not going to work out time-wise or monetarily, still put it in your calendar, because I find the way that the universe generally works is that when you set your intention on something, it brings it back to you. You kind of have to decide first, like, this is what I want, before it's going to come into your life. You can't just wait around and go, well, that would be nice, and then hope that the universe just, lands it in your lap. You really have to go, this is something I believe would be good for me. And if if you've been in Mary Kay for 5 years or 5 minutes, this is going to be good for you, because it is a step above just your average training. Your average book, sell, recruit, the training that you get from me, the training that you get from the book that Mary Kay sent you, the website, Mary Kay in Touch, my website, all basic stuff. The stuff that you get at these Verineos area retreats, those are above and beyond. Those are leadership. Those are skills that you don't get in other areas generally. Those are, it's more like going to church. It's a little bit more like being in the presence of people who care about making you into your best self. It's almost transcendent. I mean, it's hard to describe, but the care and the love that you feel, and then the level of excellence. I don't know if you've ever been in the presence of someone that you're just like, I just want to be like this person, and you're just like, kind of like, oh my gosh, I want to be you when I grow up. And that's how I feel when I get around Jamie and the other directors who are there. I just go, you guys are they just have it together. And they make you feel good and special, and they are who I aspire to be. And so to spend time with them is just, you really can't put a price tag on it. So if you're like, yeah, but Laura, it costs money to go, and it does, everything does, right? Everything that's worth it has a price tag attached to it. But if you're like, but that sounds like where I want to be, that's where I see myself is not just at the bottom rung of Mary Kay, but at least like in the middle. Just hanging out in the middle, Red Jacket, making a little extra money from my team and from, working on my parties and those kinds of things. Let's talk, because you have plenty of time to move up in the company. I mean, if Linda Berry can add 10 in 1 month, you can add 3, and to register. And Southwest has direct flights for super cheap. If you happen to live somewhere that has Allegiant Airlines or Spirit Airlines, everybody flies to Orlando cheap, because they want you to go to Disney World. So if that's something that you think that you want, let's have a conversation about it for sure. Okay, so the topic of the evening here is how to team build with ease, because I know a lot of people, they kind of get a little anxious when it comes to building their team. They think they don't want to pressure their friends. And of course, you don't want to pressure your friends. And they think that they want to let people kind of decide for themselves. That a lot of times what happens is we give people a little too much room for doubt, where we say, well, they'll come to us. If they're interested, they'll come to us. And it's just not true. And the reason why is because we have all the confidence, and the longer you're in Mary Kay, the more your confidence grows in the company and the business plan and the products and all of these things. But they don't. They know they have a need, but they don't know how to fill it. So it's almost like we have the cure, they have the disease. And so to trust that they on their own would come to us would be kind of like, trusting that a kid will come to their parent and say, Mom, I really feel like I should be eating more fruits and vegetables. I'm feeling a little iron deficient. Can I get some broccoli? Like, it's not going to happen. And so we have to learn how to go to them without applying pressure, without seeming over the top and pushy. And so I've got it down to pretty much an art form. And what it looks like is this. Step one is pamper faces. That's what we really get paid to do, is pamper people. You pamper enough people, they'll buy something without you even really trying to sell them anything. You pamper enough people and you'll feel really good about what you do because you helped make their day a little better. And as you pamper people, you also just get to tell them, hey, if you have a need in your life, like I had a need in my life, we should talk about this because these are the things that Mary Kay offers. So as you're pampering people, you want to share the information about Mary Kay in two ways. First way is called your I story. And that basically is your personal story of, this is why I joined Mary Kay. My I story, I'll tell you really fast, the quick version. Before Mary Kay, I was a high school English teacher and I was in job jail. I really hated my job. There are a lot of people who are wonderful teachers and I was just not one of them. I have a college degree in theater, which is a little bit like having a degree in waitressing. And so I graduated and I needed a job, and it's the job that I found, but it was not the job that was in my heart. And so I was overworked, underpaid, and underappreciated. And I realized one day that I was not making enough to really even make ends meet. So I was thinking, what can I do on the side? And how can I transition out of this and into something that would really feed my soul, like acting or producing or whatnot, and ended up moving to California. And right before that, I was thinking, how am I going to make money in California? And I ended up at a Mary Kay party. I had never in a million years thought about being the Mary Kay lady. I mean, I was 22, and up until that point, I basically washed my face with whatever my mom sent me and didn't wear any makeup. I wore blue mascara and chapstick, and that was my beauty routine. And so this was not a career that was kind of already, predestined for me at all. But what happened was I really loved the products. I loved how my face felt when I used them. And when the lady said you get half off, I said, that sounds like a good Groupon. So let's think about that. Then she says that you make half of everything you sell. And I knew that my mom would buy from me. So I'm like, I've got one customer, just, check that one off. And then I figured, if she would buy and I would buy, surely somebody else will like this stuff too. And the lady put it another way. She said, it's basically like if your job right now called and said, hey, we need you to start coming in an extra 3 hours a week. We're going to give you a $10,000 raise. Would you even have to think about that? And I really didn't like the job that I had, but I still would have gone in an extra 3 hours a week for $10,000 added to my paycheck. And she said that's basically what it's like to do one Mary Kay appointment consistently every single week throughout the year, because it's a consumable product and those reorders start to come in. Put it another way is that an unskilled, untrained beauty consultant just starting out will make about $50 an hour when she's working the business. And I thought, I don't know. No, but I know that I have to try to know. So I decided to give it a try because I figured I can just, use my products for myself. And that's when I gave it a try and just played around with it for 3 years. After 3 years of just kind of like using it for myself and selling it to my mom, my life changed when my husband decided to go to law school. And in law school, they wouldn't let him work for 3 years. So for 3 years, I was going to need to put the food on the table. And that's when I really decided to start treating Mary Kay like a true business. I started to put in roughly about 20 or 30 hours a week. Within 6 months, I earned the use of my first free car. Ended up putting him through law school for 3 years, a fourth year of him trying to find a job. And we've been fortunate enough to earn 5 free cars through Mary Kay. And I love the free car program completely. And we did just buy a house. So I love Mary Kay. And I could talk about it for forever, but I won't, because you guys came to be pampered today. And that's how I transition. And of course, that's a little longer. And if you're brand new, you might go, I don't have all those things. And that's okay. All you say is, before Mary Kay or currently, I do this. I joined Mary Kay because of this, whatever reason it was, or if you had a need in your life. And then you can say, and I'm excited about earning the use of my first free car in the next 6 months. or whatever time frame you choose. And it really can be that short. So the first thing you do is you share your iStory, and you do that every single time, because nothing to anyone is as impressive as a personal story, because they're going to look at you and go, well, if you can do it, probably I can do it too. Okay. The second thing you're going to do is share some marketing information at every single appointment, whether it is just a one-on-one facial with 2 people or it's a party with, 6 or more people. You always want to do something. I like to play a game. Now, the game that I play, I believe, is on my website. It's called Tell Me What You Think. And I just found a new version that I'm going to kind of compile. Let me see if I still have it up on my computer. A new version, which is really an old version, but it's new to me. It has pictures on it. So what I'm going to do, I'll share this with you so you can check it out. Share screen. Okay, there it is. See if you can check this out. Share it with everyone. Yes, I'm not sending it. Okay. Can you see this? It says, did you know at the top right here? Nod yes if you can see this. Okay, good. All right. So, did you know? So this is essentially, it's a really similar thing, but it's got pictures of the cars. It just needs to be updated a little bit. Pictures of your diamonds, pictures of the starter kit, how we make money. And then at the bottom, it asks for a response. So what works great about this is I play it at my parties, something like this, and I'm going to kind of revamp it so you can use it. I just go through it with them so that we all start at the same time and end at the same time. And I'll let them know that for giving me their opinion, they'll be entered to win a Coach clutch. So we're giving away a red Coach clutch. I don't have them with me because they're in my studio, but they're about this big. It's like an envelope. It's got like one zipper that's for your phone and then another zipper that's for your wallet. And it's just so cute, leather. I'll have a picture of that, but they get entered to win. And if their name is drawn, you win the other one. So I always say, okay, so even if you would have never in a million years think about Mary Kay, I would still love for you to fill this out for me because you never know. I mean, Mary Kay used to say that at every party, out of every 5 people, 1 person might be looking to do a little something to earn a little extra money. So I never know who that is. So we're just going to play this game. And, it's probably not for you, but you might know somebody who would really be great at it. And I always give $50 in referral credit. If somebody does become a consultant with me, you get $50 to spend. So I go through this. I said, we're going to go through it at the same time. So we all end at the same time. And I just basically read it. So on this one, it would be, so did you know there's more to Mary Kay than makeup? It's about enriching women's lives. So here's some reasons why women choose Mary Kay. I want you to circle or check the ones that appeal to you. So number 1 is flexibility. And everybody go ahead and circle flexibility because I've never met anyone who wants to be chained to a desk, right? And they all, seriously, it's important to everybody. Would you like, your own set of hours to work? I basically just read through it. And these are the reasons why people kind of get to check them off or not. Facts about Mary Kay. I want you to check the 2 facts that you personally find most impressive to you. So since the inception of the Career Car program, it's actually 140,000 now, and that's something I need to change. We give a 100% satisfaction guarantee, a 90% guarantee on inventory for new consultants within 1 year, and more than 300 independent national sales directors in the United States alone have more than $1 million each in commissions. That's a lot of female millionaires. So you let them check that, how we make money, getting started. Then, and this is the important part, is you let them know down here, they fill this out. This is what gets them entered to win the coach. And I'm going to have a place on here where they put your name as well. And what you're going to do is you send me this. You can snap a photo of it. You can scan it. You can do whatever you want to within 24 hours of seeing them. What this allows me to do is I can look and go, okay, if at the bottom, you see where it says on a scale of 1 to 4, how would you rate your level of interest? I always say, okay, 1 is like if you were naked and starving and homeless, you would still not even want to think about Mary Kay. And, on mine, I usually have a 5. And I say, 5 is like, let's get started. You just can't put a 3. Like no 3s. So this one only has 1 to 4. So you're kind of safe. You can't put like a 2.5. So you got to put somewhere. So 1 is, I'm thinking, not so much. And 4 is, yeah, let's do it. And just put yourself somewhere on there. And then what this allows me to do is to talk to you and go, hey, did they seem interested? People always put 1 or 2 letters lower than they actually think. Only very decisive people who are very confident are going to say, yes, I'm going to get started right now. So usually people who are a 4 who are like, I really want to do this, will put a 3 just to kind of test you. They just kind of want to know, like, are you going to get back with me? That kind of thing. So you can use this one. You can also use the one that's under resources on our website. It's just not as colorful. but I'm going to do a hybrid. So you want to do this at every single party, every single facial, just some way to show people like, hey, like here's the details in case you need them. Because people are never thinking this is something they want to do ever, until you give them the details. Then what I do at the end is I'll give tickets. I always have like a roll of tickets and like a prize, like a little miniature hand cream or samples. And I give tickets for questions, try and see, like just kind of the people who are interested, the people who are thinking, that kind of a thing. So those are the first two steps, iStory and sharing some kind of marketing, and then get them entered into that coach drawing. Okay. The third step is really wonderful. And I just got it. And this is really exciting. I'm going to see if I can find it on my computer. Okay, here it is. So National Sales Director Linda Toupin used to have the CD, and you could buy a CD and then you could send it home with your people and then they would listen in the car, and it is fantastic. It just gives them all the details about Mary Kay, but more than just the facts like, hey, we make this much money and this is how much I've earned, those kinds of things. It's more about seeing Mary Kay for the bigger picture of life-changing money, the bigger picture of life-changing tools that it gives you. Basically, she starts it off by saying, you are where you are in life because of the choices that you have made or you have allowed other people to make for you. And she also says at the beginning that you're guaranteed to be happy for 3 days just from listening to this. And it really is that good. So it used to be a CD, and then your CDs would walk off and you'd never get them back. So what she did was, we have a link now, and I have subscription, so you guys can use the link. So here's what you need to do is write this down. It's choices, CHOICES.pink. Isn't that cute? Choices.pink. And that's the website. You can send, first of all, you need to go and listen to this, choices.pink. It'll ask you to log in. And your login name is Leading Ladies. That's your username. Leading Ladies, no caps. Leading Ladies. And then the password is Mary Kay. MaryKay. And because I'm paying that subscription every month, you can not only listen to yourself, but then as people leave your appointments, or as you're working on layering your appointments, you can say, hey, would you listen to this? It's guaranteed to keep you happy for 3 days. It's just a really great inspirational story from a lady from Kentucky with the most Kentucky accent I have ever heard in my life. She is straight up from Kentucky, and she just tells her story, and it's a wonderful story. Whether you're interested in Mary Kay or not, I would just go to the moon and back for you to hear this and give me your opinion. You are going to need to bribe them, and I always give them an option. I say, would you like a free lip gloss or lipstick, or another product, any single product at half off? It's your choice. And as soon as they've listened to it, then you get to you or I will call them and follow up and say, what'd you think? That kind of thing. Give them their half off item or whatever. Half off costs you nothing. Free lipstick costs you up to $9, right? So it just depends, I think, on what they would find motivational and how much you would really like to work with them. But first, you need to go listen to it. So hopefully everybody who's watching this video in the next 24 hours is going to go and listen to the recording. You can do it straight from your phone while you're driving, whatever. It's really good. I've listened to it a few times. So sending them home with something is super important. The next step is doing an interview. And an interview is something that you can do with them in person. We can do it over the phone. I really recommend doing it in person, even if you're like, but I don't know what to say. I will teach you what to say. It's not so much about what you say, it's about what they say. Because what you're doing is you're just really listening for when they say, this is the thing that I would do anything to change in my life. We all have it. It's just, are they going to be honest with you? And I'll tell you what, it's a lot harder for them to be honest with me, who they don't know, over the phone, than it is for you to take them to coffee and sit there. And, I always like to, one of my friends calls it, look at them eyeball the fuzzy eyeball. Like, how you get so close to somebody, their eyeball's fuzzy, because our eyesight's just all getting so good in our 30s and above, right? So, but, eyeball the fuzzy eyeball. And so you get to sit there with them in person, close enough to touch them. It's just a different feeling, and you get that trust that you need to hear someone's heart. And I think that that's what's most important. So I would prefer for you guys to go do your own interviews, but I need to teach you what to say so that you feel confident enough to do that. So what you're going to do is go to my website, which is larsleadersunit.com. Click on resources, and then up at the top, and I'm about to redo some of this, but it'll be in the same place. Up at the top under resources, as soon as I have it up, I'll show it to you. It has all the team building information. And another thing you can do too, if for some, you can do the choices thing. You can also, on Lars Leaders Unit, you see where it says I'm a guest. Just realized I'm not sharing my screen with you. Share screen. Okay. Okay. You see where it says I'm a guest right here. If they click on that, there's a whole lot of videos and things here that are really lovely. There's a video here, it's about 15 minutes, and then there's all these 30-second videos. These are all really nice, again, as another layer. There's some more information about cars, there's pictures of me, stuff like that. So I think there's a whole site somewhere that has information about me. But yeah, if they click right here, Meet Lara has information about me on it. But so if they just need more information, you can always send them there. But if you click on I'm a consultant, password is let me in with a capital L. If you're doing it on your phone, it's going to make you do it twice. No idea why, but it always says it's wrong the first time. Okay, so again, this will all look different in the next couple of days. But if you click on resources right here, over here under sharing, the Q&A interview sheet. This is basically more or less what got me through DIQ. It was slightly different, but what I love about it is you're asking them questions, you're letting them ask you questions, and then you're filling in the blanks. That's it. So you're going to ask them, tell them about you about them. There you go. What do you like best about your life? What do you value most in your life? I love this question. Knowing your life is perfect, what one thing would you change about your current situation? Knowing your life is perfect, just the way it is. What one thing would you want to change about your current situation? Same question, second one is, what one thing would you add to your life to enhance your life? What do you want to see your life like in 5 years? Or you can even say in 1 year. Fast forward your life a year from now. What do you want to see your life like? If everything goes in the direction it's going now, will you get to be where you want to be in 5 years or in 1 year? If we only had 5 minutes, what one question would you want me to answer for you about the Mary Kay business? And sometimes I'll go ahead and answer it, and sometimes I just write it down. I come back to it later. What do you already know about the Mary Kay business? This is really important because if it's not somebody who's been to one of your parties, they could have been to their mom's party. They could think we're a pyramid scheme. I've had people be like, well, I know it's a pyramid. I'm like, oh, no. We got to address that first. So what do you already know about it? And then you don't have to be redundant. One of the things that we do, I think, is we talk people to death. We tell them all this information that they don't need. We just need to figure out what information do you need to make a decision. So then you're going to tell them your 2-minute I story right here. Let me tell you why I became a consultant. And then one way that you can kind of narrow down what do they want to hear about is, let me tell you briefly about our business. Which of the two following appeals to you the most? And I just say money, recognition and prizes, friends and positive camaraderie, cars, flexibility and priorities, upward mobility, personal growth, or education. And if I'm sitting with them, I'll show them which of these two. I'll circle them, and then I'll just tell them a little bit about those. Okay. And it's all there for you. And if they ask questions and you don't know the answer, you can go, I don't know the answer. Let me write that down. I'll get with my director and get back with you. On a weekly plan sheet, which will be on our website soon, have her mark everything she does in her life. Basically, you let her do it's basically a mock calendar. Like, I work here and I do this here and here are all the things I do. And then you can help her find the places where she can fit in a 2-hour appointment once a week, that kind of a thing. Of what you heard today, what surprised you most, what was most exciting. If you don't become a consultant, where do you see yourself a year from now? If you do become a consultant, what will be improved a year from now? That's such a powerful question because they're thinking, oh, I can't do this because I'm so busy. But the questions that you want them to answer are, what would your life look like? And a lot of times they'll say, it'll look the same. Well, if you did do this, what do you think your life would look like a year from now? And they'll say different things. You can, just listen, really. What qualities do you have that would really make you shine doing this? What are the 2 most important reasons for you to become a consultant today? You don't have to tell them, I love this. You don't have to tell them, hey, you should become a consultant today because of this. Let them tell you, what are the most 2 important reasons for your family for you to become a consultant today? And then you let them give you a scale of 1 to 4. and I can't stress this enough. When you ask someone to give you their response on a scale of 1 to 4 or 1 to 5, it's not for you. It's for them. It's for them to know that I'm leaning towards or I'm not quite leaning towards. You don't pay any attention. In my mind, everybody's a 5 until they tell me otherwise, right? Everybody, or it just doesn't matter to me. They're deciding. My job is just to help them see if this is going to solve their problem. I'm a consultant, right? I solve people's problems. So if she's not a 4 and ready to get started right then, great question. What would move you in the direction of a 4? What would help you make that decision? And then you're going to get the objections. So here's some ways. I'm pointing with my finger like you can see my finger. Here are some ways here that you can overcome the objections. But really, if you go back to, it's back over here, right here, overcoming objections. This is kind of the long version. There's a flow chart somewhere. This recruiting objections chart. Print this, memorize this. This is the best thing in the world. Because they're all going to give you the same objections every time. We all did. I did, you did, we all did. So just memorize kind of what to say when they object. And then the last step in my art form of team building, they may or may not be ready to go then. So then you send them home with some more information, right? Maybe send them home with the choices link or the video link, or invite them to a party, invite them to your unit meeting. But then right here, is it still up here? I'm looking for something that says layering. I don't think it's going to be up there, but right now it's down here. Recruiting layering chart. Layering is step 4. So step 1 was sharing marketing at every single skincare class and facial, your eye story and some kind of tell me what you think or did you know. Step 2 is sending them home with the choices link and bribing them to listen to it. Step 3 is setting up a coffee date with them to hear their heart. And step 4 is making sure that you're layering them, because some people don't say yes right away. A lot of people, it takes them years even to become consultants, and that's okay because maybe their life just has to change. So the most important thing here, are they using the product? If they didn't buy any product, do you have samples you can send them home with? Right? Can you send them home with cleanser, moisturizer sample and say, would you use this for a couple days and get back with me? Have they been a hostess or at least been to one of your parties? If they don't really know what we do, then they make up these crazy things like we knock on doors, or that we have to like call all our friends and ask them to buy from us. So have they been to a party? Have they had a party? Have they had a couple parties? Do they have a team building packet? Have they listened to the 5-minute marketing plan, which is like the Choices CD? Have they attended a guest event? And that's something that would be at your local training center. Have they been interviewed or had a coffee date with you? And have they given you an answer? A lot of times people just go, well, not right now. Well, not right now. Well, not right now. Well, maybe later. Well, I'm not sure. And then they'll say yes, and then they'll back out. So have they given an answer? So until they're like, no, then they still haven't given an answer. So you just kind of keep layering and layering and layering. It's kind of like building a cake, And so that's basically those are the tips that I have. And that's what's really worked for me. One of my consultants says, it's kind of like dating. If you meet someone for the first time and you have, you go on a date, it's your first date, it's a blind date, you meet someone for the first time in a skincare class and you expect them, hey, sign up with Mary Kay. And some people, it's just too much commitment for them, right? So they have to kind of like go on a second date with you. Maybe they need to see another skincare class, right? Maybe they need to, if you have skincare classes booked, invite the people that you think or they think, and you want to work with them or they think they might want to work with you, invite them to be your assistant. Give them any product they like for half off and have them carry in the bags and have them rinse out the bowls and pass out the facial towels, all of those things. And have them watch you make money. Why not? At least you get an assistant out of the deal, right? So even it's a great way to just layer upon layer. So that could be the second date. The third date is they come to your unit meeting and they see your director who's probably making more money than you are at this point, or they see the pink Cadillac parked outside and they go, they really exist. It's kind of like seeing a unicorn in the wild. They're like, they do exist. So they layer upon layer upon layer till the fear is gone. Till the fear is gone, then they can actually make a decision based on what would be good for them and good for their family. And if that decision is still no, that's okay. We don't need everybody in the world to be on our team. It wouldn't work. It just would not work if everybody was a consultant. So if you ever hear of a company who's trying to sign everybody up, watch out. That's not, that's a pyramid company. But until then, just layering, building their trust, getting to know them. That's what's so wonderful about this company is there's no pressure. There's no stress. There's only looking out. This is what true leadership is looking out for the person to your left and the person to your right. That is true leadership. So that's all I have to say now. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording, and then I'm going to open up for questions. And anybody who's watching the recording, if you go on to Facebook and post a comment where I'm going to post the link to this training, I'm going to get you entered to win this week's prize.